are. Good morning, friends. It is January 22nd. Are you impressed with how I know dates this week? January 22nd, it is another excellent palindrome day, and it is Friday. It's 12221. How is that for excellent number stuff, right? Good morning, Matt. So, okay, let's see where we're going to start first. Let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was a very intense day for me, and so was Wednesday. Yesterday was Thursday. Yeah, yesterday was a very intense day for me, and it is so interesting because I tell you guys a lot of things, right? And I give you guys lots of tools, and I tell you what the energy forecast is going to be and all the things, and then when I am deeply enmeshed in the feelings of it, even though I know these things, I forget them. But thankfully, I have friends who remember what I say and then say it back to me because I have no memory of it. And it does help a lot. So when you experience those moments these days, because of how intense the energy is, where you just have a day where you're like, what is happening here? Like, why does nothing make sense anymore? Why am I completely ungrounded and rooted and cranky and bitchy and just like feeling very confused? Just remember that we are never static when it comes to energy. We're constantly moving. So even if you are in the worst squirm ever, it is going to move through. It has no choice but to. So that helps great in the moment, but it is nice to just keep in the back of your head to remember that you're going through something for a reason. There's information you are gathering at every point in time, and things are not happening to you. They are happening for you if you decide to invite yourself to believe in that, because you can absolutely invite yourself not to and believe that everything is happening to you and become a victim of circumstance. That is a choice. So just remember that. But yesterday was really intense for me, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why, even though it's still kind of like, ugh. So I am feeling in the collective this sense of deep relief and almost like we did it, okay? And that really threw me off because I didn't feel it, and it didn't resonate with any of the messages coming in. And so I was sitting in that and asking myself, like, why is this, and what do we do about this, like, or do we do anything about it, and what does it mean, and why is the energy this way, and you know what is happening? And I've come to the conclusion that we've been working with energy so intensely over the past few months. We've been stepping into our sovereignty. We've been learning how our thoughts create. We've been learning how the systems that we're currently living in do not work because they're not anchored in love. They were not built from a heart space. And I think what threw me off Wednesday was this sudden rush of, finally, someone with some sense and ability to make coherent sentences is now in charge, and it's going to be totally fine. And that is not true. Unless what you think is totally fine is going back to a time when you didn't have to see all of the issues in our world. Because that's where we were before. All of the things that we've seen over the past 4 years were not created by the previous administration. They were illuminated by the way that things were handled, by the reactions, and by the, I can't find this word, but by the energy of the previous administration. They were revealed to us. These things have always been with us. And I think I've said this to you, that if you're shocked at the injustice, the racial inequality, the fact that we have so many deep-seated issues in our country when it comes to women and anybody who is different, it's shocking that you just realize that, but it's only because we have been sheltered. So many of us have been sheltered, living in our little cocoons that are made possible, right? And that is a place of privilege to be in, that you can live your life and not see the great disparity and the great injustices that are currently going on every single day in our country. So we got to see a little bit, and I want to emphasize that. This is a little bit of the ugliness that is currently going on in this country and in every country at this time, because our governments are built upon this ugliness. So if we are to move into a forward direction, creating systems that actually work, we can't really assume that we can create them upon the foundations of the old. And that is Ragnarok energy. That is tower energy. So it really threw me off for a minute yesterday just to have that feeling, just a momentary like, ugh, of, you know, I can feel everybody just so excited. And I think the reason I was so quiet yesterday is because I felt like I needed to give everybody a day before I got on here and was like, we're not done is the point. We're not even close to done. This is one step in a million steps, and that is okay. It doesn't matter if there's a million steps, because something else that's been really coming through very, very strongly for me is that we constantly work, right? We constantly work to bring the world we want into being at the same time as we enjoy our life as it is. We can do both of those things. You don't have to be in a constant state of turmoil. You don't have to be looking at the news 24/7 and saying, this is wrong, that's wrong, this wrong, that wrong. You can enjoy your life. You can have a good time. You can enjoy peace. You can enjoy prosperity. You can enjoy the gifts that are currently around you at this time and still be working to bring the kind of world you want for your children into being. So it's good. There's good things happening. But let us not get swept up in a fever of excitement that someone else is going to take care of this for us, because that's how we got here to begin with. Sovereignty, people. Sovereignty. We cannot drop the ball on that. We cannot give our power away to anybody, even if it feels like a relief to do so, even if it feels like we've been holding on to that for the past 4 years and we just want to give it over to somebody who knows what they're doing. We need to still stay in this place of seeing clearly, using our own intuitions and staying in our heart centers, because if we don't, we're giving our energy back to an old system. Okay. And that is, you know, it is what it is, but just be sure you're conscious about your choices when you make them in that way. So that's pretty much what I have to say about that for today. There's more, but I feel that it's going to shift so much in the next couple of weeks that is the main point. That is the main point. Is it really awesome that we have a woman as vice president? Yes. That's great. It's not like now all of our problems are over great. It's should have been since the beginning great. But okay, awesome. Making progress, making movements, but still the smoke screens are there. The bait is there. All of the energy of being lulled into a sense of complacency is there. So just don't allow yourself to do that. Stay on your toes, stay vigilant to see the things, and continue to do your work. Continue to do your work. Continue to see what you want within yourself and move that out into the conscious world, okay? Now I'm gonna seg real quick left turn. Mercury retrograde is coming. And I want to talk to you about this because we have a tendency when it comes to Mercury retrograde to just whine about it and say that now our electronics aren't going to work and, blah, 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 whine. Okay? I want to talk about it because it's important right now. Right this second. We have been going very, very fast. Very, very, very fast. And that's good. That's what we do because we're in the zone. Retrogrades give us a moment to slow down. So as we move, we're currently in the shadow of Mercury retrograde, and I believe that we retrograde around the time of the full moon. So the full moon is the 28th, which means retrograde will be like the 30th, let's say. And we're already in the shadow, so we're feeling it. We're slowing down. This is perfect timing for some retrospective investigation. Okay, you've been going really fast. We've had pointed focus. We've been holding the high note. We've been doing all the things. Likely things in your own life have been moving very, very fast as well. You've been having all of these upgrades, probably new realizations. Certain foods don't taste good. Certain people don't taste good. And you're just kind of like, woo, woo, all these things are happening. Now is the time to take a moment and let it slow down so you can assess all of the things. So you can make sure you didn't miss something important so that you can sit back and say, okay, here's how I feel about that. This, not so much. Whatever it is, allow the retrograde period to slow you down as it needs to and use it as a tool to really sink in. And this will be great. And I mean it. This will be great. So instead of looking at any astrological occurrences now from this point forward as an annoyance or a hindrance or an, oh no, I won't be able to do anything, just remember who you are, please. I would really ask you to. You are not at the mercy of anything. Astrological signs, the stars, the energies, all of these things are here to support you. That's why they're here. They're tools for us to use. We've forgotten this, but we are remembering. So they're not here to attack us. They're here for us to use. We literally live by the cycles of the moon. Come on, right? So just like we are getting pretty good at using the cycles of the moon to manifest and release, let us not forget there are other planets and other energies to tap into and use in our cyclical behavior. So right now, Mercury retrograde is coming. It means slow down and look at your things. If technology starts malfunctioning, that's okay too, because it's probably asking you to stop doing whatever you're doing and look at something else. So look at these different phases as tools to help you and start to lean into that rhythm. Does that make sense? Because this stuff is going to become more and more relevant as we move through this year and onward, because we are moving back into a type of society that is built around the cycles of nature. We have all the answers here on how to create a society that works, that is connected to each other in heart space, that is self-sufficient, that takes care of the earth, that takes care of its people. We have all the ingredients here already. There's actually nothing that needs to be invented. Can you believe that? So we just need to remember and tap back into that space. So these are the processes of doing so, by starting to realize that we are part of these cycles and not above them or outside of them, and they are not attacking us. So I am, for one of the first times, really looking forward to this retrograde, because I too have been moving very, very fast with lots of information coming through, and I'm excited to take a moment to slow down and know that that's not going to completely derail whatever I'm doing. It's going to actually enhance it by allowing me to pump the brakes just a minute so I don't fall off my track, okay? So things to think about for this weekend. We're rolling into a full moon, and it is the last full moon of this month, this month has been a great example of how linear time does not exist, because tell me this month has not felt like 3 years. And I don't even mean that in a bad way. I just mean so much happened in January that it doesn't seem possible that it's only happened in 22 days. You know what I mean? So as we start approaching this full moon, we're almost there, right? Not quite. Leave that full moon energy there for a second and go back to your new moon energy. Tap back into your seeds. Remember your decision, your thoughts. Remember the way that you visualized what feels good to you, and send out your good juju, not only to your seeds, but to our seeds as well. We're so connected. If you've been with us on Monday and Wednesday of this week, and we did our activation with the ocean and then the mountain, you can feel how connected we are. That's how connected we can be all the time. That's how we can lift each other up and to support each other and whatever it is we're trying to make manifest in this world. Each of us has a special vision that we want to see in reality. And we each need to follow that vision. They don't have to be the same. If they're coming from heart space, They will complement each other and create a symphony, a buffet, if you will, of many different flavors for all of us to enjoy, many different sounds, many different textures, and they will be in harmony if they come from heart space. Anything we're building now must come from heart space. So all that is actually making me feel better. I feel better after having spoken to you this morning because I'm feeling the momentum again, and I'm also feeling the slowdown, and I'm seeing the vision because we are right in the middle of this, and there's so much more to do. And if you look at it from certain perspectives, it seems really overwhelming, but in truth, we're already there in some ways. If you imagine that every projection you've put out there for your future, living in this harmonious, beautiful life, whatever the vision you've put out there, imagine it is there. And all you have to do is tap into that energy in this now moment to bring it into being. You are living some of those aspects right now. Whoops, what did I do? So, yes. So if you are not already in restoration and you would like to join us for the next full moon call, which is going to be a little bit different than normal moon calls because I feel that we have all upgraded as far as our manifesting. And so it's time to upgrade the way that we use the lunar cycles. Whereas before we were like doing a lot of releasing, right? 2019, most of 2020, release, because we had so much to get out. But we did it. You released a lot of crap. And now it's different. And so it's time to upgrade the way that we use the moon cycles. So I don't even know what that means, but that's what's coming through. And that is what we're going to start doing next week. So if you'd like to join us for the moon call, all you have to do is hop on my website, join Restoration. It's only $22 a month, and you get a lot for that. In February, you're going to get 2 masterclasses. So if you want to join us, please do. I'd be glad to have you. And yes, thank you, Claudia. I am pulling a card now. So I'm excited to pull this card. I always am excited to pull the card from the Fairy Forest deck, but I feel like the fairies lately have been very interesting, as have the dragon energies and all of the energies. And usually when I pull one of these fairy cards, it's pretty interesting. So thank you, Claudia. I was totally not going to pull the card, so that's helpful. Oh, there it is. All right, we've had this one before. It is not Ragnarok. You can tell by my face. But we've had this one before. And I just want to point out numbers for you. I have 28 viewers right here. This is number 28. The full moon is on the 28th. I think we should probably look up the number 28. Anyway, this is the dreamer. And I will post this card in the Restoration Facebook group as well as the description, but I'm going to read it to you. It's the dreamer. Can you even? I can, but every time. All right, here we go. Hey, Stephanie. You have pure magic flowing through you in the form of visions, dreams, and trance-like moments. You are visually psychic, and all the world is full of messages being relayed to you both through the medium of physical sight and through the eyes of spirit. You may even find you are able to enter trance extremely easily. You're adept at reading patterns within nature. You can scribe without meaning to, and you look into every face, knowing the story it is silently sharing. One glance gives you information about the person or place you are with or within. And your skill is an ancient one, revered throughout the ages. You may find yourself gazing intently at other people's faces and picking up information, being able to read expressions, seeing shapes and patterns in fate within the forms tea leaves take at the bottom of the cup, reading signs in the clouds, or simply knowing what will happen before you open your physical eyes because you can see what is to happen next. Trust in your visions. They come from a magical place. And when you become able to read and understand them, you will be the dreamer indeed. Your vision is coming to reality. Keep going. Your dream will become manifest in your life and very soon. So, thank you, fairies. Thank you to the number 28. Oh, Jean is on it. Here we go. I'm going to read this for you. From the interwebs, the number 28 symbolizes balance, harmony, service to others, empathy, adaptability, divine life, purpose, and soul mission, manifestation of wealth, prosperity, and abundance, solving problems, achieving success, knowledge, inner wisdom, the universal spiritual law of karma, partnerships, authority, finances, and leadership. Well, way to drive the message home this morning and to pump the energy up a little bit. So, brought to you by the number 28. Thank you to the fairies and the dreamer card. I will post this, of course, in the restoration group. And Jean, if you don't mind, will you just send me that a message, a private message with that so I can add it? And this is good. This feels good for this weekend. So I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing Friday, an amazing Saturday. And remember, Sunday, I will be posting the 3 cards and you can choose your card and then come back later and find it. And again, if you would like to join Restoration and join us for the next lunar call, which is sometime next week on the 28th, you can reach out, you can go to my website, whatever you want to do. You can join the Restoration Facebook group for free, and that's where I post all of these things you can read. So have an amazing, amazing weekend. Thank you for listening, whether you're live on YouTube, on the podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you lots. Mwah. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow.